There you go. That's Baccarat. Okay, joining me in the studio, I've got Alison Wynne-Rider, who describes herself, and many others describe her as the quirky medium. Let me say hello, and let you say hello. Good morning, Alison.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm absolutely fine, thanks. Yourself?
I'm very well, actually. Yeah, we're having a funky morning this morning, so it's quite good fun. Now, I've had loads of people interested, mainly women, I must add, seem to be interested. The fellas sort of seem to go, all right, yeah. And all the women go, let me know what time she's on. You know, we want to talk to her. So you describe yourself as a clairvoyant medium who works with spirits to help bring comfort and guidance to clients. Can you tell us a little bit more about it? Because I'm a sceptic. You know, I'm going to be honest, I'm a sceptic. So tell me what you think.
Okay. All right. What about the skeptics, do you mean?
Well, yeah, what you do.
Right, okay. Well, as you said, I am a clairvoyant medium. I do one-to-one readings for people. The medium part of what I do is where I get messages from spirit. The clairvoyant part is where I get stuff for people coming in. So I do get stuff for the future as well as things around them now. As for skeptics, yeah, I mean, you know, whatever anybody believes in or not believes in, you know, I would never try and force what I know and what I believe on anyone else. So, you know, and I have done readings for, you know, for people who said they were skeptics before and got information for them that there was absolutely no way that I would know it was personal information. So that sort of put a seed in their head then. So, you know, and I have had them coming back again. So, you know, have turned potential skeptics into believers.
So when did you realise that you had, in inverted commas, a gift?
Okay, well, as a kid, I didn't realise it was a gift. I just assumed that what I was sensing and feeling and seeing, everybody else could. And then found out very quickly at school. Went to a bit of a hard knock school, really. So I realised sort of very quickly not to talk about, you know, what I could see and feel and sense. But it came into its own sort of later on in life, really, when my daughter was a teenager. And we had a lot of activity going on in the house. We had pictures falling off the wall, like bulbs, you know, falling out the socket, sparking on the carpet. And a lot of things sort of happening around me as well. And I seemed to have this knack of knowing what was coming in for people. So very quickly, friends sort of cottoned onto that. So they were all ringing me up, and I sort of became a bit of a guru, really. And then a couple of years after that, I was lying in bed at home. I'd met John by this point. He's a police officer. I used to work for the police as well. And I was just lying in bed. He was on nights, and the bed started shaking with me in it. And I thought, right, I've had enough of this now. So I shouted, "Go away, whoever you are," because it was frightening me. And I decided to develop my gifts. So I went along to a psychic development class, and the rest's history.
It sounds fascinating, I must admit. You've been presenting or co-hosting a TV show, Rescue Mediums. How did that come about then?
Yeah. Oh, God, that was mad. It's one of those things where, you know, it's one of those things that is meant to be. I was at a Mind, Body and Spirit fair, and I used to do readings, and I'm a Reiki master, so I used to teach people how to do Reiki at a spiritual centre that belonged to the lady that originally, you know, that co-hosted Rescue Mediums, and she was looking for a new co-host. And there'd been, because it's filmed in Canada, the crew had been to Canada interviewing people and auditioning people in Canada, but she decided she couldn't work with any of them. And then she said, well, I could work with anybody at, you know, my own spiritualist centre. So the guys, a producer and director, came over from Canada and started auditioning there. And at the Mind, Body and Spirit Fair, she said, oh, by the way, some of the girls are auditioning. She said, just for experience. Do you fancy having a go? So I just said, yeah, okay, I'll have a go just for the experience of it. And went along, didn't think anything of it. I thought it'll be fun, and that was sort of what was in my mind. And I got her nana through, you know, from Spirit, and gave her all the information. And then I said, what I normally do when I work, I normally take my shoes off because I feel more grounded that way. And I said, can I take my shoes off because I feel more grounded? And apparently the director loved it because it was like quite quirky and unique. So, you know, that was the thing. And then a few weeks later, I was sitting at work at the police station where I worked, and the phone went, and they'd offered me the job. And there was nobody more surprised than me. Apparently they loved it. It went to the network. The network chose me, obviously not Jackie or the director or producer. They'd like watched all the auditions, and they liked mine the best. I think because I was natural I didn't have any preconceived ideas as to what the outcome was going to be. And I just went and did my thing like I normally do, and it obviously, they thought it came across well, and again, the rest history. Just 2 years working on the show, and it was fantastic. 2 of the best years of my life, really. Yeah.
Good to hear. All right, I've got to ask this question before we play a tune. But have you ever met a nasty ghost or spirit?
Oh, yes, especially on the show, I definitely have. We do what we call, I don't know if any of you have seen the show, might be a good idea, if you get a chance to go on and Google about the show, because we do have clips on the Rescue Mediums website and on my blogger site. We do what we call rescues, so we rescue a spirit that's haunting a place. We have to ask them to come close to us to find out their story. And they very often overshadow us, which is where they come like very close within your aura, and you can feel all their emotions and everything. So yeah, really, really nasty spirits I've written about in my book. I've been thrown to the floor. I've been, fainted and all sorts of stuff. And I ground and I put psychic protection around myself, but they're so nasty and so strong that there are only a couple of things, that have happened to me. And before I went on the show, I just did like readings for people and a little bit of audience work. And it's not that I didn't believe in nasty spirits, but I didn't think that they could harm you in the way that they, that they did when they came that close. So that opened my eyes in more ways than one. So yes, I have met a few nasty spirits, yeah.
Well, I must admit, I've hit the floor a few times after spirits. Different type of spirits, I must admit. Yeah, that gag was waiting to be told. All right, we're going to play a little tune. Do you like Stevie Wonder?
Love Stevie Wonder.
Okay, this is Stevie Wonder and Higher Ground. Okay, you're back with us and with Alison Wynne-Rider, the Quirky medium. Why does a place become haunted? Why do spirits live in a place? What makes them go and move in, basically?
That's a really good question. There's a number of reasons. It could be the property itself, as in the land that the property is built on. So, if it's sort of land that's been there for sort of yonks, and I don't know, there may be burial sites there, and the house has been built on that, then that obviously could that the haunting could come from that. Or it could be that somebody in the house is psychic, maybe shining their light out, and they've been out and about, and spirit have just thought, oh, that looks a nice shiny light, and I'll follow them home. So it could be, attributed to the person that lives in the property, or it could be the property itself and the ground that it's built on.
So is that something that people should worry about? Because if I moved into somewhere and there were spirits and ghosts in the place, I'd be extremely worried. Scared, actually, so I think it's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, some people, I have heard of people actually moving into haunted houses, but they didn't realise until they'd obviously moved in that they were that it was haunted. And then other people have just moved into a normal property, and then over time they've noticed that there's unusual things happening. And like I say, it could be that, it could be, some of the activity could be, spirit, their loved ones that are just coming by to say hello. But if it's prolonged and they've got things like flashing lights, things that have happened to me, pictures falling off the walls, light bulbs falling out the sockets, things moving, and that it's nobody in the house that's moving them, unexplained noises, things like that. I used to have our telly, mind you, it still does. Our telly will switch itself on and off, but very often that's my energy because of what I do. And if I'm upset or angry, all our lights flash, so it's, if there's somebody in the house that's psychic or has sort of a high energy around them, then things in the house can sort of link into that. I wouldn't say it's anything to worry about, sort of, unless there's like really unexplained, frightening activity going on in properties, then that's when you would call a medium in to try and help sort the problem out.
I've got that problem. Well, I did have. I had a teenage son in the house, and things would go missing, and stuff would move around. But I think it was down to him more than the spirit world. So people will know their house is haunted if these sort of things are going on. Basically, how do they know if they themselves are psychic or if they've got a connection or something like that?
Yeah, that's another really good question. There's a number of different ways. Usually if a person's like really sensitive and picks up on other people's energies or other people's emotions, that's sort of, a starter point. And then if you seem to know that things are happening, if you're thinking of a certain person and they ring you, if you're out and about in a busy area and you just feel like literally drained, you're taking on other people's energy, that's another sort of pointer. So a number of different, reasons why, you would think that you were maybe psychic. And also, ask a medium, ask a clairvoyant, and they'll sort of help you with that as well.
Great stuff. All right, well, we've got a tune coming up for you next. Do you want to introduce the next tune for us? Got your glasses? Get your glasses.
Hey, I told him I like Sam Smith, so it's Sam Smith with Stay With Me.
There you go. That's Sam Smith, Stay With Me. OK, we've had Tracy Jeffries has written into us now and suggested or said a couple of things that her house was like you just described, with things going on and where are we, things being switched on and off, things going missing, shadows. What can you say to that, Alison?
Well, it certainly sounds, it could be one of two things. It could be that you yourself are psychic, Tracy. Things being switched on and off, things going missing, shadows like somebody's just walked past. The shadows like somebody's walked past does sound like that somebody's popped in probably to say hello. What I always ask people to do is to keep a diary of events or to, just to make a note of what's going on. And then you can usually see a pattern to it. It's things like, when did this start happening? Was it happening as soon as you moved into the house, or did it happen after a certain length of time? Does it only happen around you or around other people in the house? And you've also said here, all witnessed by other people too. So it certainly sounds like there's something going on. But also take a note of how you feel, Tracy. Does it frighten you, or are you quite comfortable with it? Obviously, if it's frightening you, then I would suggest that you get somebody in to sort of have a look at it and see what they pick up on. But I would say that, you have the gift, basically, especially with things being switched on and off. And certainly somebody's attracted to your energy, the fact that they're there in the first place.
Okay, thanks for that. I'm sure Tracy will come back with something on that. But you just mentioned that you saved or rescued a house over here. Was that when you first came out?
Not when I first came out. No. Well, we've not been over here long. We moved over last April. It was a few months ago. Obviously, I can't say who it was because he is a professional guy. And I think he was surprised, about what was going on. It just started off with little things like hearing noises and sort of sensing somebody around him, to, really frightening things where he couldn't sleep at night. There were shadows, saw people walking past him. All the electrical stuff was going haywire. So he just asked me to go and, see what I picked up on. But what I do is I do predictions and premonitions. So before I went, I linked in with Spirit and I made a note of what I would see or sense before I went. I also have prophetic dreams, and the night before I went to the house, I could see, in the dream, I could see a lady standing in front of a window with long curtains down to the ground, as if she was looking for somebody, and I knew she was Spirit. So I sent him a WhatsApp message and I said, because I knew it was the bedroom, I said, in your bedroom, are there large windows with curtains down to the ground? And he said, yeah, spooky, why? And I said, because I've just dreamt about it, and it's a lady that's in the property. And when I went, sure enough, she came forward. It took a long time with this one. I'm still not quite sure, what happened. But there was a portal in the house, which is where somebody's either used a Ouija board and used it incorrectly, or something to do with the land. And it turned out that he'd had an extension on the house, a new extension, and there was something to do with the land and what they dug up in the land that contributed to this. So it was all very, there was a lot of activity going on, but, I did get it sorted out. And then a few weeks later, the same thing was happening again, which was puzzling. And it was a guy in the house this time, a spirit gentleman. And it was all happening because of this portal. So I asked a lady that runs a spiritualist centre to come and help me with this because the energy was that strong. And we sent him on his merry way and closed the portal as well. Because when it's something this strong, as a medium, even though I do what I do, it's better to have somebody there with you. Because if you get overshadowed, then it's hard to come out of that on your own. So, you know, it's better to do spirit rescue work with two of you rather than just on your Todd.
Hello, it's better. I'll tell you what, the time has just flown by this morning. I'm going to do it live on air. Can we get you in again?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And you're going to help us out with the All Abroad magazine. You're going to start putting some stuff in there for us. Okay, well, we've still got time for a couple more questions. The first one was, why are you called the Quirky Medium?
Everybody asked me that. Well, it's the title of my book, and I wrote the book, and I was worried about the title, but Spirit just said, write the book and we'll give you the title. And then I was just in the shower one day and they just said the Quirky Medium to me, and that was it. And I thought, oh my God, because when we were in Canada, the Canadians always said, oh, we love your quirky sense of humour. And I just thought, that is it. Nobody else had that title. And it just sort of describes me down to the ground. I'm not a conventional medium. I just do my own thing. And people seem to like it. So that's why I'm the Quirky Medium. I'm a bit quirky as well, daft.
You've got to be here. Yeah. It's all part of being an expat, I think. Just very quickly, because we're going to put all your contact details up on Facebook, on my page and the Breakfast Show page after the show. But what have you got coming up locally, and how can people get hold of you?
Right, to get hold of me, you can email me at thequirkymedium@gmail.com, or you can have a look on my websites. I've got two. I've got discovertheangels.com, and I've got the Quirky Medium blogspot.co.uk. The first event that I've got coming up is actually at the Quesada Country Club. It's next Thursday, the 23rd of April at 7 p.m. It's an evening of clairvoyance where I'm doing platform work, and I'm joined by the lovely Gillian Berridge, who's a spirit artist that's come over from the UK to work with me during this evening. I'm at the Las Palmeras at Crevalente doing readings on the 24th of April. I'm doing my own psychic awareness class on the 10th of May. So places are going very quickly on that. I think I've got about 3 or 4 places left on that. A craft fair again at the QCC on the 21st of April. And the Pablos at Playa Flamenca on the 25th of May. I've also got an angel workshop coming up in July on the 4th of July.
You're bloody busy, aren't you? I've just had a comment come in here. I don't know if you saw this one. Where is it? It says, Andrew Bryan says, a reading with you live on air next time.
I've done that before.
Have you really? Oh, perhaps we'll see. We'll see about that one. Yeah. All right, just to finish up then, I thought this tune was probably appropriate. I'm not sure if you agree. But it's Dido, and it's Here With Me. Thank you very much to Alison Wynne-Rider. It's been a fantastic day. Really enjoyed that. I mean, next time we'll get you in for a bit more time as well, if that's okay. But we'll get you in, I don't know, within the next month. Would that be all right? Yeah. Fantastic. Well, we're going to announce that on the radio as soon as we've got some dates. I believe there's some ladies here in the studio that are trying to get hold of you and want to pick your brains. So thank you very much again to Alison Wynne-Rider. We'll put all the contact details up on the Facebook page just after the show. And we'll leave you with Dido and Here With Me. You have a great weekend.